Hi, let's just watch this quick video on how to create and a little bit about talking about line plots and what we look for in them. So it says Lucy surveyed the students in her class. She asked the following question: how many days do you exercise per week? So she's going to use a frequency table. So that's what this is here, a frequency table. And frequency meaning like how frequent someone does something or how frequent something happens, frequency. And then we're going to make a line plot here, and this will be our line plot. Some people also call it a dot plot because the dots. So let's get started. So one way to be able to create a dot plot or a line plot is to kind of organize your data. So we're going to go through, we have this frequency table. We're saying anywhere between 0 and 7 days a week can they exercise, because you can't exercise more than 7 days a week because it only goes up to 7 days, and you really can't exercise like 2.5 days. So you either exercise, so this is going to be what we call discrete data, or you can't have anything in between these numbers. So I'm just going to start off, and I'm going to start making tally marks. So I got 1 7, and I have a 5, and I have a 4. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to keep going until I complete the tally mark. So you can pause and get caught up then and make your tally marks. So now that I put all these tally marks in, I'm going to write the total. So I think I had 1 0 and 3 1s, and I had 1 2 3 4 5 2s. Now you might say, well, wait, wasn't I supposed to put a slash through it? I purposely did not put a slash through that, and I'll show you why in a little bit. And then 4 3s, 4 4s, 3 5s. Nobody said 6 days. So either do it 5 days a week, or one person 7 days a week. Okay, so here's how I'm going to check this. I'm going to now take these numbers and add them up. And when I add them up, I have 5. 1 plus 4 is 5, that's 10. 1 plus 4 is 5, so 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. That's how I add them up. And then I always do it again just to make sure. So 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 3 is 21. Good. Right. So I have 21 numbers. Now I'm going to check and make sure I'm supposed to have 21 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yep. So that means that's me double checking my work. So I have 21 numbers in here in my frequency table, and I had 21 numbers listed. So I'm pretty sure I'm right. The next part is just to make the dot plot. Now, it's kind of tricky. You want to make sure that you kind of keep it going the same. You want to try to keep it as even as possible. So what am I doing? I'm just making the number of dots for each data point. It's pretty simple, right? So there's 5 2s. I made 5 dots above 2. There's 4 3s, so I'm just going to put 4 dots above 3. 4 4s. I'm kind of getting off track here. I'm already kind of making a bow, so I got to be careful to try to keep everything lined up. So I'm going to try to do a little better here with the 5. There's no 6s, so no dots, and then there's 1 7. Very simple, right? It's a simple graphic to show how the data is distributed. Now, if I look at this dot plot, remember how I said I didn't put the line through the slash through the 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slash for 5? I didn't do that because if I look at my tally marks, if you could do this, and you just want to turn it sideways, turn your video sideways, the shape of the tally marks are actually the same shape of the dot plot. So it makes this kind of almost like a mountain shape, but the data kind of clusters around 2 and 3, because 2 is the, well, what is 2? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the measures of center that we've already discussed, like the mode, for example. Oh, 2 is the mode. So the frequency table and the dot plot are an easy way to determine the mode, because the one with the most dots is the one that occurs most often. So the mode is 2. That's a really simple thing to find. After that, the next simplest thing to do would be to find the median, because the numbers are now in order from least to greatest. So the thing you need to be careful with is some people, when they find the median, they only look at the numbers on the line plot, but we're looking at the data points. Remember how I said there were 21 pieces of data? So that means the median is going to be halfway. So what would be halfway if we're doing 21? Well, half of 20 would be 10. That's 21, so it's like 10 and a half. So that means if I was counting in, because I know that you kind of like to do this slash like 1, 1, but I'm going to count in 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the 10th dot. If I come in from the other side and count 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This would be the 10th dot coming from the other direction. So coming from the upper end, the max, and counting it in 10 towards the middle, I come to this dot. Starting at the minimum and counting in 10 towards the middle, I end up at this dot. So what's the dot in the middle? It would be this one, right? So here's my median right here. And what data point is that? That's 3 days. So the median, the middle here, is 3. 3 days of exercise. So the most common answer is they exercise 2 days a week. The median answer would be 3 days a week. So then what's the mean? Well, to find the mean, we have to add up all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. We already know that there are 21 numbers to divide by. So you could just add up all these numbers. Now here's a couple of mistakes you'll make. One, they just add the total number of days on the left, and they just add them. Two, they add the totals together, and then they think that is what we're going to do. But this is the total number of those numbers. So I have 1, 0. There are 3 ones. So that's 1 plus 1 plus 1. There are 5 twos. That'd be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. I have to add all those twos. I have to add 4 threes. I need to add 4 fours. I need to add 3 fives. And then 1 7. So I could do that. I could add 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, like that. Okay, you get the idea. Or the shortcut would be to multiply first. So I'm going to use multiplication to see how many, the total amount of ones. So that's 3 for the ones, 10. Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit lost there. So this is 4 times 3, 12 plus 16. Hold on. Okay, so let me try to explain that again because that wasn't making a lot of sense. I am going to add 3 ones because there are 3 ones. 1, 2, 3 ones. So I'm going to add 1 3 times. I'm going to add 2 5 times. And 3 4 times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 threes. And 4 times. So I'm going to use that. If I use this multiplication, I'm going to have to do less addition. So, and these are easy multiplication facts. So this makes it a lot less adding, and then you're going to have less mistakes. So I'm adding 16. Why? Because 4 fours is 16. Plus, sorry, my pen stopped working, so I have to draw with my finger. Plus 3 fives is 15. Plus a 7, because there was no 6s. So now I'm going to add these numbers together, and then I'm going to get, let's see, here's how I'd add them. I'm just going to let you into my thinking. I'm going to add my compatible numbers. 3 plus 7 is 10, so that would be 10 plus 10 plus, I'm going to add these two together and get 31. So 31 plus 12, and now I can do it in my head. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 63. So that's how I got 63. Now, obviously, you could also just use a calculator, but that's how I do it in my head. So now I have a total of 63. To find the mean, though, I take the total and I divide the total by the total number of numbers. We already know there's 21 numbers. So I'm going to do 63 divided by 21, and I get 3 again. So now the mean, it turns out to also be 3. Aha! Well, that makes sense because look at how the data is clustered around 2 and 3. But this 7 out here is a lot, so it pulls the mean towards the greater end. So there we go. We have the median is 3, the mean is 3, and the mode was 2. The range, well, the range is the greatest range it could be, the range of 7 days, because 7 minus 0 is 7. So that means they have all different possibilities except for 6. So that's the biggest range you could have in this context because we're talking about a week. So overall then, what would you say is the typical number of days that someone exercises in her class? Well, I would have to say about 3 days because it's the median and the mean. So there, and we can kind of see here in the graph that the data kind of clusters in this area. So that makes sense. It would be about 3. So what we've done now is we have graphically displayed the data from her list, which is a lot easier to look at than this list of numbers, which almost looks meaningless. We've calculated the mean, median, mode, and the range, and we've determined what the typical is. So that is how we make and use dot plots. Thanks.